Welcome back to another Kissing Booth video. I wanted to really touch on the ending and explain it, as well as about why this type of ending is most perfect for Elle and the group of misfits in general. Of course, there'll be spoilers for the Kissing Booth 3, since I am talking about the ending of the film in general, so please watch with caution if you haven't seen it yet, and maybe go and do that right now even. I really wanted to touch on this ending because I feel like a lot of people may have been let down by how it ended because, of course, the movie builds up this wonderfully dreamy relationship between Elle and Noah. So naturally, everyone hopes for them to end up together. Instead, Elle and Noah part ways and they don't actually see each other again for 6 years, as we can see from the time card that appears on screen. Let me just run through the ending for you so you get a clear idea about how it ended, just to refresh. The ending goes like this. Elle and Noah end up breaking up because he sees that she's been putting him first a lot, rather than thinking about her own choices and wanting to do something she wants. His mum also reiterates that fact that she hadn't been thinking of her own path, and that she had been worrying too much about what other people want. Instead, she should focus on what she truly wants. And we see Elle start to take her own goals seriously, and she decides for herself that she wants to do video game programming. Eventually, her and Noah do meet again, like I mentioned, and we can be hopeful that they end up together in a possible fourth movie, or at least in our heads. This is very vastly different from what people may have anticipated or imagined the ending to be. I mean, it was predictable that this may be the turn that the movie would take, since a lot of movies similar to this coming-of-age film often take this turn of the two main characters going their separate ways and then meeting again in the future. But I really do think a lot of people were honestly hoping that somehow her friendship with Lee and that her relationship with Noah would blow over smoothly despite the pull and the differentiation of where they're both going to college. I think letting them end up together would have been the most fan-serving ending the movie could have given us, so I'm glad that the directors didn't actually take that route and make Elle a super annoying character in that way. The reason she would have felt unlikable or annoying if she had ended up truly moving in with Noah and going to Boston and going along with his journey rather than her own would be due to the idea that she would have literally zero individuality as a character. We see throughout all three of the Kissing Booth movies her doing a lot of things to please others. She even says it herself that she wants to make everyone happy and do things for the sake of them. To me, this really felt as if she was defined by her romantic and platonic relationships with both Noah and Lee, rather than having her own interesting personality and traits that we enjoyed seeing. We were just invested in the chaos that ensued due to her relationships, or not relationships, working out or having drama. This was okay to watch unfold, but if this had have been the ending for Elle, then she would have really ended up being a useless and kind of a depthless character. Her running off to be with Noah at his college would have been quite a crappy message to send to any of the young people who were also watching the movie. As we know, what we see on screen can be highly influential, especially to young people. So if we see that people drop their own dreams and hopes to go follow the loves of their lives to a completely new state, younger people may think that that's okay and follow in those footsteps. Of course, it's up to anyone how they would like to live their lives, but you'd find you'd get unhappy quickly unless you also are working toward a goal and have dreams of your own. And if you follow someone to the end of the earth just to be there for them and no other reason, it can get boring really fast. So it definitely works if you had a common interest out there when you wanted to go, but if not, I don't recommend it. So that's why I'm really glad that the story didn't put that message out there, since it can be pretty harmful in that sense for young people to see, oh hey, well, Elle's doing it, maybe I can do it with my boyfriend. But that's not a reality that we should really take, because it can be pretty crappy to end up in a place where you don't want to be and find that the relationship doesn't even work out in the end anyway. Instead, the ending has us seeing Elle, who talks with Noah's mum and has a very real moment of realization that the whole time she had been thinking about how to please Noah and Lee. And by the way, I don't blame her, since Lee seemed to not want to accept anything other than her going to Berkeley with him. He was very adamant about making her go with him if it was possible, And we even see him crack a tantrum 1 or 2 times because she actually chose not to. For a moment there, she had decided to go with Noah to Boston, obviously upsettingly, but eventually this also changed. The only reason this does change is because of her breakup with Noah. If she had have stayed with him, we may have seen her very well attend the same college as him, since there would definitely be reason for her to go there. And the reason being would be that Noah was there. Which is why I'm relieved that they broke up and why this is the conclusion for The Kissing Booth 3. As much as they were cute together in the cringiest way possible, it was better that they broke up to find their individuality. It also meant that they may have dated people in between. This can be important for life experiences and help a person really make up their mind about what they want. If they happen to both be single at the same time in the future, then they would be content being with each other because they were able to experience other people, and also chase their own dreams in the meantime. Of course, it's not necessary to be in a relationship with others, but it can help the what ifs of only having dated one person since high school. It also helps with eliminating what kind of partner you don't want, and it can help you make up your mind about the type of person you do want to be with. So I really felt that this ending for Elle and Noah going their separate ways romantically was actually perfect for the pair. It meant they would be able to find their individuality outside of their relationship. Then, if they happened to be single later, they'd have an easy time getting back together because they've been through the motions of life. They've done the things that they wanted to do, and they've also maybe dated people in between, so that stops them forever feeling the need to go and date other people. It also hinted that they will be getting back together since they shared that long dreamy stare and that motorbike ride as well. So if you're feeling sad about the fact that they didn't end up together explicitly in the end, then you can still hold on to that hope that they kind of did. This meant Elle wasn't existing purely for Noah or Lee's sake anymore with this ending. She was her own woman, and that's really important for portrayals in media as well. We want to see that women can exist without needing a romantic partner. It's not terrible if they do have a romantic partner the whole time, but we don't want to see women who seem like they can't go on if they don't have the stereotypical male in their life to act as a savior for them. Which, has been shown throughout Hollywood for centuries now, and even in plays from hundreds of years ago. So we don't really need any more of that kind of plot or theory to be shown to us because we've seen it enough. It's overplayed now. I just hope that this shed some light on the Kissing Booth 3 ending for you, and if you were a bit disheartened, maybe this can give you a newfound meaning to the way that it ended and why it was probably the perfect ending ever. Because then it's almost destined that they will end up together, Noah and Elle that is. So it's a good thing in that sense. And if Lee and Rachel can end up together, so can Noah and Elle. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you liked this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments if you had a different perception. Maybe it's completely different from mine and you thought that maybe they won't ever get back together, or maybe the ending should have been that they did end up together and have some fiery, steamy romance until they decide they hate each other, or something along those lines. Let me know down below, and I'll see you guys for whatever's next on screen.